Hello, welcome back to the Mildly Forged Boomers podcast. Obviously, I'm Nero because I'm a posh human being, according to the people of Northern England. So yeah,
British.
and obviously that's Hassan,
Hi.
mildly creative, and then we're joined by Jake Hodgkiss once again.
Hello.
Yeah. Now, before we get started with today's topic, which is gun ownership, I, let's talk about what is the government up to again.
Liverpool shooting.
Liverpool. Yeah, it's so relevant to the topic. It's almost like I picked it out a bit thinner because it's that
Yeah,
relevant. Yeah.
I guess a lot of the gun tards, as I call them, will take this as a whole. Well, banning guns doesn't work, guys, because bad people will still find a way to do things.
Yeah.
And like, it's really fucked up that during a drive-by shooting, they killed a 9-year-old man. What sort of degenerate shoots a fucking child? I
Yeah.
know they can be annoying as fuck, right?
Mm.
But like, really though,
Yeah.
you must be like the most pathetic human being to ever exist if you shot at a child, dude.
Yeah.
They've arrested what, 2 people on suspicion of it now, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we even know what sort of gun was used or anything? Have they not released any info regarding that kind of thing?
I'm searching for it now. Now that I think about it, there's not much
I'm
details.
curious. I've not been following it like properly, but I've seen like a few
Yeah.
bits and bits
Like
about
the
them
victim, Olivia Pratt Corbell, was like 9 years old. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
literal fucking 9-year-old, bro.
Yeah. And she was shot through her mother apparently when she was opening a door. Yeah.
Absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah, she was shot through the hand apparently. That's one story I've heard, but like details are kind of off at the moment, if that makes sense. 'Cause let's just say this: as a law student, right, I find it annoying when any type of case gets into the public, like in terms of media, because let's just say the public like do have a massive influence over like any criminal law case. But I digress. That's just my opinion.
Especially where it's one where a jury is going to be involved.
Yep,
'Cause
exactly.
as much as you can try to avoid hearing about the news on high-profile cases,
Yeah.
you will hear something, right?
Yeah.
That's not to say I don't trust the jury members to, go
Remain
out of their
impartial. Yeah.
remain impartial, right?
Mm.
Because they're picked out. The jury members are picked out. You get picked out for jury duty. They don't just give it to random people, right? And most people are reasonable enough to not allow themselves to be affected, right? And I'd say the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case is a perfect example
Yeah,
of that, right?
exactly. There's been
You
a
can't-
lot. Yeah.
They absolutely were aware of how much of a shitty person Amber Heard was and how no one was on her side, but they still awarded her sub money because they're trying to be fair here. Johnny Depp lawyer did make some dumbass fucking statements about her that defamed her
Mm.
because, they didn't have proof for those allegations.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, I hope to God they don't screw this case up because British law kind of funny and, like, we've all seen enough cases where the wrong person's been convicted for stuff just
Yeah.
because wrong time, right?
Yeah, which is why I'd argue, like, when the public say this person's guilty and it's pitchforks out, what happens later when, let's say, that person was actually innocent? It's happened before, and God knows. But, like, to be fair, with the details we're getting for this case at the moment, it's kind of clear cut, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a jury member, like, I say this
So
as a law student, but yeah,
That's the one
well,
thing
law
that
graduate.
for that we don't have the death sentence, even though I am overall in support of it, right? Because
yeah.
like we've seen quite a lot with American law where someone's been put to the chair or something, right? And they didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
What about you, Jake? What do you think about this?
About the idea of having the death penalty.
Nah, just funny, Liverpool.
Just in
shooting
general,
it.
yeah. Like the shooting,
it-
even if,
It's bloody terrible, isn't it?
yeah.
That happened in Liverpool as well.
But
Yeah.
it's definitely a rare thing to happen in this country.
You don't see shootings very often
Yeah.
anymore.
No,
A lot of
like,
stabbings, right?
Yeah.
A lot of stabbings.
I think, yeah. Yeah. Okay, the weird thing about this episode is I technically am a gun owner, just not in the UK, if that makes sense. Firearms
Touche.
owner in the Philippines, I'm just saying, but like, yeah. I have my own views on gun ownership. I'm assuming everyone does. But I'm not as like extreme as like every American, NRA member, if that makes sense. Like,
I think there is a middle ground,
yeah,
right?
which is what I take
think,
position-wise.
While I do think the wide scope ban on handguns we have is stupid,
Yeah.
right? Because let's be honest, there are plenty of hobbyists who, like owning handguns, like going to a shooting range out there, right?
Yeah.
That aren't gonna go shoot people up. On the flip side, though, I think you should be able to walk into a Walmart, pass your background check, and buy a gun? No.
Yeah.
It's like selling guns at Tesco.
Yeah.
The problem with handguns is that they're very small and they're really easy to conceal. Like
Yeah,
with a
they're
rifle,
compact, yeah.
it's much larger. If someone walks around with a rifle, it's easy to say. It's more identifiable.
Right.
Identifiable.
I will say this: you can sawn off rifles and sawn off shotguns. You can conceal those really easy.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Well,
one of the most common guns you'll find in the UK are refurbished movie props. So I remember a while ago they got a bunch of movie prop Mac 10s, right, and a shipment of them got stolen, repurposed, and you just got people running around with fully automatic
turned
machine pistols.
into an actual Mac 10 functioning. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like,
you can make any weapon concealable. You can have a knife can be concealable. I mean, hell, you can drive a car and kill people with it, right? And those are everywhere. But and that's the argument a lot of people use to banning guns doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
The issue is it knocks down the volume of gun crimes. It doesn't reduce the number of crimes.
Yeah.
But with a stabbing, right? It's a lot more personal. You got to be up close and stab somebody.
Yeah, there's like a personal, emotional, attachment to when you attack someone with a knife.
There's several steps to where
exactly.
when with a knife or with a car, you're like, should I be doing this? Should I do this? Should I do this? With a gun, bam! Oh shit! I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, there's that mental element. Yeah, mens rea. Yeah, lost student brain coming out once again. Crazy. Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy and going that makes sense.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
And I mean, Cal owns one of our friends. He owns several guns in the UK, right? And it is really expensive to get the right permits and the right licensing. But you can own a gun in the UK.
Yeah. It's just not as easy as people think it is. Yeah. And there's a bunch of laws around gun ownership. It's for example, you can't leave the gun loaded and stored in the same place.
Got to store the ammo and the gun separately.
Yeah. And then the police will do background checks on you, regularly, I think? Yeah.
And annually, they'll show up at your house to, randomly.
Yeah.
Just go, hey...
Which makes sense.
Can we see your shit? Which, yeah, exactly, right?
And then,
the licensing is really, really expensive, just to...
On top of that,
a bit of money as well, right? So, owning a gun and doing the hobby is an actual investment, which is frustrating for working class people who want to get into the hobby, obviously. But it does also prevent, criminals from acquiring legal guns as easily.
Which is why kind of gun ownership in the UK is kind of like an upper middle class type hobby, if that makes sense. Majority of people that have own firearms tend to be farmers or people that do hunting and all that.
You're either a farmer or a Tory. There is no in between.
Fox hunting,
Yeah, they do fox hunting with guns, right?
Yeah. When you see those little...
They're not allowed to use dogs anymore for that, are they?
Yeah. Don't think so.
I mean, I thought they banned fox hunting with the horse and dogs and everything.
I'm pretty sure
they're not supposed to do it, but still do it.
But you can't do it with certain tools anymore, so you're not allowed to set traps and stuff.
Oh, right.
It's to reduce gun use.
Oh, it's illegal to hunt foxes with a pack of dogs. Yeah. This is according to the .gov website. Yeah.
like you can still go fox hunting. It's just they limited the methods you can use to go
Yeah.
fox hunting to like guns and stuff,
Yeah.
hunting rifles.
Mm.
The laws around farmers having guns is actually quite lax there.
Yeah.
Because they've got to keep vermin and like just animals off their property, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's limited to single shot like rifles and shotguns, I believe, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
They're
Actually.
not allowed to own guns over a certain caliber. I forget what it is with that law specifically.
And then let's say we do. Obviously, you gotta do comparison with America, because I'd argue like I think we'll all do like we'll argue like no one's gonna disagree with me. I think the American Constitution, specifically the Second Amendment, is completely outdated as a concept. It was designed around a country that just came out of revolution with Britain, obviously. So the right to bear arms in a well-regulated militia.
So with how Americans have such a hard-on for their constitution, right?
Yeah.
And how like unchangeable it is, even though we have like 300 amendments, but but like it's as ridiculous as us saying that the law where it's illegal to die in Parliament
Yeah. It's
should
one
be
of those.
enforced.
Yeah.
It's as ridiculous as us arguing that, right? Or like, you're allowed to challenge someone to a duel if you click your heels together on your boots or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or like, it's legal to order a beer in the middle of an Oxford exam, because it is. You can dead ass put your hand up and be like, yo, can I have a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's as ridiculous
Yeah,
as
like
arguing
dumb customs,
those
yeah.
laws. It's legit, right?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, as well, with America, they take it to the full-on extreme, right?
Yeah.
In
Gun culture.
certain states, it's legal to buy a fucking missile and fire it as long as you have the right permit. And if you don't have the right permit and you just fire the missile, you have a $1,000 fine. That's it.
Out of curiosity, what state is this? I'm
I think
actually
it's
intrigued.
Arizona, but
Oh my
don't
God.
quote me on that. I'm not sure. But there is a state where you can legally fire a missile.
Hey Jake, want to go to Arizona? Want to shoot a missile?
Hell yeah.
It's like the fine's like $1,000 per missile. So as long as you fire one, it's not even that expensive to ignore needing a permit.
Oh.
Sure, it's going to be difficult to source said missile, right?
But you
The
can
fact
do
that
it.
you can do it is ridiculous to me.
Oh. Oh
I
my
don't know
God.
if I find this more ridiculous. Like, in some states, again, I'm
Right.
not too sure.
Yeah.
You can own a tank, and not like how in England you have to like
Oh,
deactivate
yeah.
the gun and replace the tracks with rubber ones. No, you can just have one that is fully activated.
You can do that in the UK as well, actually, if you have a high enough license.
Really? Like with an
Yeah.
activated gun?
So, like, the thing is, right, the reason we are allowed to buy tanks and drive them around, right, is because of a law from World War One or World War Two, I think, where everyone who had a driving license could be drafted and drive a tank, right?
Mm.
They've not phased out that law ever, so you are actually qualified with a basic driver's license to drive a tank, and, like, troop transports and stuff.
Is this here? Is this
Hell yeah,
here?
let me just go buy a
And
Centurion.
yeah, this is here. That's the entire reason you are allowed to buy and drive a tank in the UK.
Oh,
On top
God.
of that, if you somehow have the licensing for reenactment and stuff,
Yeah.
you're actually allowed to have the gun be active. You're not allowed to put live ammunition in it, but you are allowed to have the gun work.
So you can shoot blanks, for example. Yeah. Oh.
Like you can buy like airsoft missiles, dude. Like I mean, hell, I've seen some like ridiculous shit from Silo Entertainment, I think he's called. He does a lot of airsoft stuff, right? He has an airsoft mortar. Imagine you going around with this like gun you rented from the airsoft place, and you'd be like, "What the fuck? I just have fucking BBs just raining down at you from the sky."
Like you're playing that Far Cry 5 mission where you just shoot the mortar. Oh.
Motherfuckers doing it airsoft, right?
Yeah.
And the really interesting thing about gun laws currently is ghost guns, right?
Yeah.
Ghost guns don't actually fall under a lot of the gun laws we currently have.
Isn't this something we talked about on our previous podcast? Yeah. We did.
We did it.
For
I
a bit.
think we
Yeah.
talked about it briefly in an actual episode, right?
Yeah.
But like, so I think the Biden administration has brought in some regulation to where you can't, because you can't entirely 3D print a gun, right? Which is what a ghost gun is.
Which is what
A ghost
we were
gun-
discussing, last time. The guy
It's a
3D printed a gun.
gun. They're untraceable because they don't have a manufacturer mark because you printed it at home. But to get a 3D printed gun, you 3D print the frame basically. But like a few of the specific parts still have to be made out of metal, or the gun would explode and kill you, right? So you want to buy like a few parts.
But it's doable. Yeah.
It's doable, and you can order everything from these online, and if you have a 3D printer, right? Of course, if you Google it, you're going to be put on a list, right? But if you know where to look, right? There's like Discord servers where they discuss these ghost guns and learn how to build them, right? 3D print a gun, get the right parts, like the barrel, the chamber, a couple springs, gun's good to go. Only thing that's like difficult to source here anyway would be the ammunition, but like in America, dude, with the
with the way
you can
yeah
you can buy ammunition in bulk, man.
how ingrained
Like,
gun culture is there. You can go into Walmart. There's a nice little section where you can buy like 9mm or like 45 automatic
to be fair
pistol.
with
Yeah.
that, they do give you a proper background check, right?
Yeah.
I will say that with the Walmart guns, there is that myth idea where you can like no background check walk in buy a gun. No. They do check you, right? Is it as stringent as it needs to be? No. It's not. Because
But
they
it exists
check
as
your
a-
criminal record, if you have a mental illness, and if you're a registered citizen. If you're all three of those, you can buy a gun.
Yeah.
And like, I think you can legally buy like a rifle for like legit a 9-year-old.
I'm actually curious though, like between all three of us, what do you actually all think of like people actually owning guns as a concept? I mean, it's kind of clear. I've said I'm a gun owner. I don't
For
really mind.
self-defense, no. For going to a shooting range with the boys and having a little day
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
but yes.
That,
As a self-defense weapon, no.
yeah. What about you, Jake?
Mine's I don't know. I'd say no. My opinion would be the same as Hassan for this country. But if I lived in America, I would
different
have a
story,
gun for
yeah.
self-defense. Because everyone has a gun.
Yeah.
Because if everyone has a gun, you need one. It's a deterrent. If you're the guy who doesn't have a gun, you're just a target. And I understand why a lot of Americans are very passionate about these things.
Reminder that there are that many guns circulating in the U.S. You could arm the entire population of humanity 3 times over.
Really?
How many guns are in circulation in America? The issue with America isn't even the laws, man. It's just the amount of guns.
Yeah. So it's difficult to police in the first place. 'Cause you got that amount
Yes,
amount
so
of guns.
fucking many.
Yeah.
It might not be the world, and it might just be the ability to arm every American citizen 3 times over. Because so I might be exaggerating a bit, but that's still upwards of 300 million guns.
Yeah. This is a lot. Obviously, Philippines put it on my social media of shotguns, but it's kind of similar to America, but not to the extreme. If that makes sense. There is a gun culture. If you go into any gun store, you can buy ammunition. There's magazines for
Using developing countries is a fair comparison, though. Mainly because they don't have the manpower or the jurisdiction, I guess, to enforce their laws as stringently. There's a lot of corruption in these countries, right? So
Philippines.
if you get caught with an illegal weapon, a little bribe.
Yeah.
I've had experience with this myself in Pakistan, right? Fucking hell, I don't have a license to drive in that country, and I've driven in that country before. I got pulled over about it at a fucking toll booth, and I was just like, "Look, bro, slide him 1,000 rupees," and he was like, "All right, I got you, bro," and he just let you through. It's fucking disgusting, right?
Yeah.
How much is that in
1,000 rupees is like a tenner. Fuck all. The thing is, right? British money. if you flex a tenner, right, they'll fleece you, right? They know you have a lot of money because, like, I think. Let me
Yeah.
check the fucking conversion, right? Rupees to pounds. Okay, 1 rupee.
Mhm.
0.011 pounds. 1 rupee is just over 10p. No, it's just over 1 pence. It's
Oh.
less than 10p is 1 rupee.
Mhm.
That's awful, right?
Yeah.
And like average wage, right? You wanna know what it is?
Like
Like-
1,000 a year.
It's not that bad, right? In Pakistan, it's like 10k.
Yeah.
This is like salary, so like 10k a month if you work a decent job. But like there are plenty of people well below the poverty line earning nothing, right? But guns are incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
Most like gun owners, like or like gun sellers, I guess, would be like people who sell guns, right? They sell their weapons dirt cheap because they're low quality, right? And they have to make a living, right? They can't just jack up the prices or anything.
Yeah.
So while there's not as much supply in these countries, right, the availability of you being able to go and buy one is a lot higher than a lot of like developed countries, right?
Yeah.
And
But,
like it's like
I think I was trying to make the argument that like gun culture wise, Philippines is very similar to America. Like there's a lot of like influences, like in terms of culture.
it's like American movies and stuff, man. Like just the like it's like cool to have a gun in these places, right?
Yeah.
It's like I was gonna say, it's almost like a status thing.
Yeah.
Like you have a gun, you can like flex it like a lot, right? And like I think that's the same everywhere where gun ownership is like quite high. It's cool to have a gun, right?
Yeah.
And like guns are fucking cool. They are. You have a funny boomstick.
Yeah.
Think about how ridiculous a gun
If you
is.
press a button and then an amazing metal projectile comes out that has the potential to kill people. Like, come on. Yeah.
How?
It's fun.
And, like the guns make brilliant sounds as well, dude. Like I've shot a 50 before, like a proper
no.
battle 50 as well,
my
not a
God.
deagle, right? And they don't kick as much as you'd think, right?
Yeah.
Because of how long the gun is. But oh my god, that gorgeous sound that exits that gun is just.
I mean, my uncle's let me shot an M16 rifle before. That was something else. It's amazing. Oh my god. Like, oh.
Like M16s are like really high quality, man. They feel really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Was it full auto or was it
Full
the
auto.
semi-auto?
It was like it was like an American import. Basically.
Yeah, that's a fucking military surplus.
Right. Yeah.
and it's
Basically,
just full auto.
my uncle, Brigadier General, right? He's retired. So we went into a
Okay.
military base and shot some guns in there because connections. Yeah. Yeah. My family in the Philippines kind of well connected to the government in some way, shape, or form.
A little bit sus.
Yeah. Might start my political career in the Philippines. I don't know. Might become dictator for life. Ferdinand Marcos 2 Electric Boogaloo. You never know.
Let's go.
Yeah. That's a
Getting-
joke.
getting,
If you are
back-
Filipino, I'm sorry. We know about how awful Marcos was. I digress.
Getting back on topic, there,
Yeah,
like
Hmm.
the whole idea of the Second Amendment being to like you should be able. So the main defense of it, right, modern day, is like so you know how people go, oh well, they meant like having muskets, right? A
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of like
Flintlock
hard
weapons. Yeah.
a lot of hard gun activists will argue, well, that's because the government also had those. We're like trying to keep pace with the government. Dude, if the government wanted
shut
to
up.
kill you, they'd drone strike your
Exactly.
seat.
Exactly.
I
Just drone
don't
strike you.
think
Yeah.
you having a fucking MG42 or like anything aside from an anti-air gun is really gonna help you at that point.
National Rifle Association. What your
Unless you have a nuclear bomb, I don't think you have much of a deterrent from the government.
Yeah,
from
my
a
dude.
tyrannical government trying to kill you.
My dude,
right?
the U.S. federal government will smite you. Literally, like off the
Sure,
face of the
it's
earth.
incredibly unlikely they'd ever do that,
Yeah.
right? But the idea that your argument is, oh, well, it's to stop a tyrannical government from taking over. If the tyrannical government wanted to control you with fear and weapons, they just threaten to drone strike your city.
They'd just be like the actual, galactic empire.
Yeah, they
suppress
just
you,
be like,
yeah.
Mr. Obama, drone strike the wedding, bro. Like,
Mr. Obama, don't strike the Daedra. What the fuck?
my fellow Cyrodiilians, we must drone strike the
The
Daedra.
Daedra, yeah. Anyway,
But
yeah.
like, it's ridiculous that that's their argument, right?
Yeah, like, what, your,
Or like the whole
M4
good
assault
guy
rifle,
with
yeah.
the gun argument, right? Oh, well,
Yeah.
there's a mass shooting. There was a guy with a gun that shot the mass shooter before he killed too many people. But what if neither of them had a gun? What if neither of them had a gun? Then what? Like, what? Mass stabbing, bro. That dude's gonna get jumped by everyone fucking there. And even if he doesn't, you can run away fast enough after he stabbed one person, right?
It's the whole herder maybe guns will help argument. You know, the concave.
Oh, there's a lot of
brainly,
stabbings going on, guys. What if we gave them a gun? The guy doing the stabbing would probably have a gun as well, and that would kill more people before he got shot by the good guy with a gun, which honestly is an
It's a
incredibly
stupid
unlikely thing to happen. I'm not disparaging those people who will use their self-defense weapons to help other people, right? It's incredibly brave of them in that scenario. They see a shooting going on to step up and like intervene and help out.
Yeah.
When in America, even the police are unwilling to do that. We don't get paid to stop school shootings.
Which, what, was this in Vegas? I can't remember now.
It was the
Was it
school. It
Texas?
was one of the school shooting. I think it was Texas.
This was earlier. Yeah, this like.
We don't get
month ago,
paid
yeah.
enough we don't get paid enough to stop school shootings. Yeah, what
So
the
we're not
fuck?
going to walk in and kill him. Yeah. Oh god.
I'm not disparaging these good guys with the gun because there are a few of them that exist that have actually stopped these shootings, right? But them having a gun in that scenario is them having a force equalizer, dude. What if the force was just drastically reduced across the board? Less people would die. Like flat, just less people would die.
Yeah.
Fuck, what do I want to say? Like, it was like that church shooting or whatever, where the guy would, like...
Christchurch? In New Zealand.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No. There's one in the US, right, where like, the mass shooting happened, the dude hit, like, 6 people, and, like, some fucking boomer pulled out a big iron and fucking killed him. Mad respect to the boomer with the big iron on his hip, right? But, like...
Yeah. We wouldn't have this issue in the first place if everyone had guns to start off with. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, then what? We compare this to the common sense approach of the Nordic countries or like Switzerland, where like gun
everyone's
ownership's
allowed to
pretty
have a
common.
gun.
Yeah.
It's incredibly like controlled.
Yeah.
And like I think those countries have checkups and stuff, right? They'll have you resubmit for your license just in case anything's changed. You won't just have a gun and ignore you, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is a really smart way of doing it, right? You have like a checkup every year to see if you're still stable enough to have a gun.
Yeah. And in America, anyone can own a gun, so it's just a massive free-for-all battle royale to see.
I think that mega pisses me off about all these school shootings, though, is that the warning signs are always there. Like, these people have been called up to the FBI before on occasions, and they're just like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's nothing. Don't worry about it.
There's like red flags, warning signs everywhere, and they're like, that's fine. Man, we don't have to worry about it.
Domestic terrorism.
And then, like, school shooting.
Although there's the political aspect behind it, where like the media will like,
blame everything else except their law enforcement's own incompetence.
Yeah, they'll blame a violent video games cause violence argument. Like,
honestly,
stupid.
Honestly, if anything, video games probably prevent more violence than they fucking cause, bro. It's like me going on GTA and brutally murdering civilians in the thousands isn't a sign that I'm a school shooter.
Yeah.
It's just a way for me to vent frustration. I'm not saying I'd have to go out and shoot people because I'm too much of a pussy to do that. Like, but like, I mean, honestly, right? As much as I will make jokes about like, I want to kill that dude, right? I don't think I could ever actually kill a person like with my own hands physically, right?
Yeah.
Which, but you support the death penalty. Yeah, fuck off. I'm allowed to be a hypocrite. I'm a human being. Fuck you. But like, it's cathartic doing that, right?
Yeah.
Just like I wouldn't do that IRL, obviously, right? But me going into a game and killing people is a good stress reliever. Like, we're like, oh, that's kind of psychopathic. You're killing people in a video game. Yeah, NPCs that have been coded.
Yeah.
Unrealistic people that have been created virtually.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a terrible person for massacring them in the thousands, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking crucify me.
Yeah,
It's
the guy
ridiculous.
playing Farming Sim is clearly a danger to society. He's so violent.
It's
crazy.
so ridiculous, man.
It's such a stupid argument.
And the thing that pisses me off is that these calls for like censoring and stuff, they work. That's the annoying thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh well, fucking this dude played GTA and he went on to become a mass shooter. Fucking hell, dude! Fucking kids are like, I don't know, 6 years old play GTA and they don't turn out to be mass shooters, bro. Hell, I think San Andreas was the first video game I ever played.
Yeah. It's just
Like,
ignoring
it's
the problem as well. Yeah.
Fucking boomers who have never played video games. If you've ever played a video game and shot someone and like seen
Or
like,
killed someone with like a
gory
sword
death,
or
right?
something. Yeah.
It's completely leagues and bounds beyond doing that IRL.
Yeah.
It's like saying someone watching Live Leak is gonna go on to be a serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It's so stupid. Yeah. Like.
I'm really desensitized to violence to the point where I'll laugh at Live Leak videos, right? Would I ever do that IRL? I'd maybe laugh in disbelief and be like, holy shit, I gotta go, right? I don't actually find that funny, though. Like, it's like seeing that kind of thing in media and then seeing it IRL is a very different experience, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't get the full sensory experience.
Yeah.
Just like, so, how different is it from shooting a gun in a video game to shooting a gun in real life, Nero? Incredibly different,
shooting
right?
gun in real life, completely different. It's hard
Like the
after
smell
like
of the
if you don't wear
gunpowder, the
earplugs.
sulfur,
No,
your earplugs, you go deaf, like your hands start hurting after a while if it's
Yeah,
a
they
big
do.
enough caliber. You gotta hold things correctly. It's
Jamming.
really hard
That's
to
happened
aim,
a lot
dodge,
with
jam.
the 1911 actually, like jammings.
Yeah, like you gotta load each magazine separately with the bullets, and then put the magazine into your gun.
Make sure when you empty the gun, check and clear the chamber, stuff like that. Obviously, you're not gonna do that in a video game, are you?
You gotta maintain your gun. Like, it's a lot harder to shoot a gun, and I mean, like, leagues and bounds harder. And it's the same with just violence, right? It's really easy in GTA to pull out a baseball bat and beat the shit out of somebody, right? And just, brain them. That's 10 times as hard to do that IRL. Just getting the amount of force, like, it's difficult. Unless you're, like, good at the gym and shit, dude.
Yeah. Which is why it requires training to do, like firing a gun, like proper actual training, like.
Which is why I'm not against gun ownership as a whole, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because being proficient with a gun is hard.
Yeah. And then there's a difference obviously between like the whole self-defense argument, which we kind of talked about anyway. But like, for me, I just find it fun going to like a gun range and just trying out different weapons. Really, that's my opinion.
It's a nice hobby to have.
Yeah.
Like, while I may not be as big a fan of guns and stuff, right? Like swords and like medieval weapons in general, swords, armor, spears, halberds. Like, I love that kind of thing, right? A Renaissance fair is like the place I would like absolutely love to go. And I'm really sad that like in the UK I can't own a lot of these weapons legally anymore, right? You're not even allowed to like because of like a lot of knife crime laws that have come in. You can't actually own these weapons unless they're like specifically blunted, and even then you have to have a license for them.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating,
very
right?
red tape bureaucratic of us as British people, to be fair.
Yeah, because like, consider how hard it is to actually pick up like, I don't know, a fucking longsword and go and stab someone with it without immediately having the police called at you while you're going to the location, right?
Yeah.
And being you just get fucking tasered before you do anything with it, right? But even that's still banned. So like, I think there can be a middle ground with these kind of laws, right?
Yeah.
Owning a dangerous weapon does not automatically make you a dangerous person.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I
it's
think
more
a lot
about
of
the
people
person themselves with that weapon. Yeah.
So if you think about it, there's a lot more dangerous things that aren't weapons, like screwdrivers, hammers, cars.
Yeah.
The whole argument that if you really wanted to kill someone, there's an infinite number of things that could do it. It doesn't have to be a
Yeah.
gun, right? It's like I was talking about. You can kill someone with a car by running them over, and those
Like
are
London Bridge,
everywhere.
yeah. Like London Bridge, where the guy literally just ran, several people over? Yeah.
You can kill someone with a brick.
Yeah.
And again, you find those everywhere. You can go into fucking B&Q and buy a singular brick, for fuck's sake.
Hello, have you got your brick license?
You get a kitchen knife from Tesco, you can kill someone with that.
Got a license for that.
A peanut.
Yeah.
Like, as humans, we have an infinite number of ways to kill each other.
Yeah. We'll find ways to subvert expectations when it comes to conflict with
No matter
other
how
human
hard you
beings.
try, we will find a way to kill each other, right?
Exactly.
We can make it harder to kill each other, which is why gun laws exist, right?
But we'll still do it. Yeah.
We can still do it. Like banning all guns does not remove gun crime; it reduces it. Does it reduce it by enough for heavy gun restrictions to be feasible? Yes. Should we outright ban ownership of guns everywhere? No, that's silly.
Yeah, because you have to also consider the black market for guns, for example. Yeah, which is probably how this person, where she shot Olivia Crowell in Liverpool, probably acquired that gun through the black market underground. So yeah, go figure.
You know, if someone is adamant enough that they want a gun, you can people have been known to build pipe guns, dude. I mean, the ex-president
yeah.
of Japan got killed by a homemade pipe gun.
Yeah.
And like Japan's gun laws are even
Very
stricter
strict.
than UK's gun
Even more
laws.
stricter than here. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't build a pipe gun and shot him. Like,
Mm.
not everyone can do that, sure, but like,
It's possible. Yeah.
it's possible, exactly.
Yeah. And again, just because you have a law doesn't necessarily mean it's that effective if it's not enforced, is it? Like, yeah. Law 101. A law is not effective if it's not enforced correctly. It's like how technically you can go on the motorway and do, let's say everyone's doing 80. Well, the police can't stop everyone for doing 80 miles an hour on the motorway, can they? It's the same exact argument.
Pirating movies is illegal. What, are they gonna arrest everyone that has ever existed for pirating a movie? No. Duh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Most of the police supposed to be arrested at that point.
No, literally everyone in the world, pretty much,
At
that
one point has
any form of,
pirated
like,
something.
computer
Yeah.
and the internet. You've pirated something. Everyone would have to go to jail. That's not enforceable.
I feel like everyone had like an uncle, like a dodgy uncle who gave you an R4 card for a DS.
Right, do we all remember
Everyone
the
had
dodgy books, bro?
Mm.
Wait, what?
Context? I'm not sure what you're on about, really.
Who, me?
Haas. Was
Yeah.
it Dodger books?
Well, you never had a dodgy box, right? It's like this fucking so it was like you know the Sky TV boxes is one of those, but like it was like
Oh.
jailbroken, so you had
Oh,
every single TV channel on them.
Uh,
Like, you're not supposed to have those, right? Did anyone give a shit? No, or like you know, there's like fucking DS ROMs you'd get with like every
Yeah.
single game in the
Yeah,
DS library on them. Yeah,
Yeah, that
and you
was
just whack
awful.
that into your DS. Those are sick, right?
yeah.
Mine was just full of games I would never buy.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, yeah, it gets to the whole root of the problem with guns, really. And, yeah. It's, the irony of gun control really is just shown. Yeah. Russian munitions.
Why?
Yeah, so it's
UK.
a lot harder to get the US, so it's a lot harder
right.
to like 7.62 bullets and stuff. You
For
still
like
can,
AKs and all that, yeah.
yeah, and like that's really hit hobbyists more than anything else.
Mm. Yeah.
Is this
You know,
since
it's
war in
just the-
Ukraine?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I don't think it was. I think this is just Biden cracking down on guns because I think this law was like before that all broke out. Actually,
Right, yeah. I guess...
it's the thing is, right, a lot of Russian munitions are like corrosive to guns.
right.
It's like it's the older like World War II munitions because they've used 7.62 for ages, right?
Yeah. Was it that
And like
standard cartridge for like Mosing the Gantz, I'm pretty sure, right?
I'm not sure if Mosin's a 7.62. I think they
I
are, but
might
like,
be making it up, yeah.
but like, so they're made with a specific material. I forget what part of the bullet is, but like, whenever those bullets are stamped onto a receiver,
Yeah, 7.62 by 54mm. Yeah,
the,
the Mosin.
the like chemical that they're using to ignite the munitions damages the gun slightly.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so like the actual powder or the?
I forget why, like, they're corrosive to guns, but there's, like, some Russian munitions, and, like, the munitions they use are for the ground troops are, like, corrosive to weapons, so unless you
Right.
maintain your weapon correctly, you can very quickly run through your gun and, like, absolutely run it to the ground.
Oh, I don't really have more to add, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, guns themselves, just as a thing, not bad. Bad people using guns to do bad things, very bad.
Yeah.
Laws should be not too strict, not too stringent.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be as easy as it is to get a gun in the US, neither should it be as hard as it is to get a gun in the UK.
Yeah. And then you could argue the middle ground is kind of Switzerland, I guess. Yeah.
Icelandic countries based
As
as far
well,
as gun
yeah.
ownership goes. Like Iceland, Greenland have pretty good gun ownership laws as well.
Yeah. I guess that's a good time to wrap it. It's a short episode. It's only like 40 minutes long, but like I'm happy with that, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to let us know your thoughts on anything we discussed and all that, because like this is a really interesting topic.
Yeah, and obviously, like, we will have biases of our own regardless. Like,
we'll have biases. None of us here is a gun law expert or anything.
yeah,
so-
and I'm a gun owner. I may be a law graduate. It doesn't mean I'm an amazing connoisseur of learning what all the legal codes are and surrounding like gun laws. So, yeah. Okay, we're done. Lol. Yeah, that was the end of the pod. See you, nerds.